what happens to you after you score an amazing goal for your country. If it's China, you could get disappeared. Irfan Hazm, also known as Ye Irfan, is a player for China's under-19 national soccer team. He's also ethnically Uyghur. Now, there are reports that he's in an internment camp, along with an estimated 1 million other Uyghurs. And China's putting them there to erase their Muslim identity, which it calls an ideological virus.
Beijing's criterion for detaining people really seems vast.
Sophie Richardson has been documenting the abuses against Uyghurs in China.
If you have read from the Quran at a public ceremony, if you give your children a name that's considered too Islamic, these are some of the causes that people have identified as the basis for their detention.
The people being held in these mass detention camps are forced to undergo political indoctrination.
미국 군산당 잡고 memleketlerinin, sosun memleketin mavzudun jırların, sosun Şinjiping'in ming jasavun, özümde жаңағы жалпы Xitay халқының жаңағы өмір тарихын жырлау деп сол.
What the people are being forced to do in these camps is to renounce their religion.
Uyghurs are a Turkic-speaking Muslim minority in China's Xinjiang region. Actually, its official name is the Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region. But life for the 11 million Uyghurs and the 1.6 million Kazakhs living there is anything but autonomous.
Torture, political indoctrination, and other kinds of abuses. Some of the most painful testimony in the report is people had no idea how long they were going to have to endure this. We had a couple of people describe to us that they had attempted suicide because they were so despondent.
Only 1.5% of China's population lives in Xinjiang, but more than 20% of all arrests in the country happen there. And even though Uyghurs and Kazakhs speak their own language, residents say the government forces all education to be in Mandarin. The camps are also meant to remove any devotion to Islam. This video, posted by activists, reportedly shows Muslim women in a re-education camp who were forced to take off their headscarves. In addition to the detentions, China is using high-tech surveillance systems to keep track of the population, including voice samples and DNA.
Камера деген жетеді. Мысалы, бір саатта жететін жеріңе, азыр деген жарым күндерің жетесің. Ана жерге барып бір түсі удостоверениең көзіңді, денеңді тексерте берсе.
Despite all the reports, China denies the camps exist. But no independent monitoring groups or media have been allowed in, and private communication with the outside world is restricted. Look, the targeting of Uyghurs and other Muslims in China is not new. China has outlawed anything remotely related to Islam in the region in the past. In 2017, Beijing decided to ban full-face veils and beards in the region to stop, quote, extremism. And in 2015, China banned Muslims in Xinjiang from fasting in Ramadan. Here's the bigger picture, though. For many Uyghurs, the fact that China has any control of the region is a problem. To them, this region isn't Xinjiang, it's East Turkestan.
This is the historical name of our homeland, East Turkestan. The Chinese communists took over our land in 1949. They gave a new name for our land, which is Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region. The Uyghur people hate to use Xinjiang because Xinjiang it means new territory. It is a name that colonialists forced for the Uyghurs to use.
Uyghurs like Omar Kanat, who are outside China, are trying to use political pressure to influence US lawmakers to bring attention to the plight of Muslims in China. And it's working. Senators like Marco Rubio have been major advocates for the Uyghur cause. And they're threatening sanctions against China. But China sees this as interference into a domestic matter.
他理应呢集中精力专注于做好自己的本职工作，就是服务于美国人民，而不是呢瞎操心，整天想着去干涉别国的内政。
Okay, so maybe US involvement isn't the way to rectify China's policies. But when 1 million people are placed in internment camps and told what to think, we don't need to look too far into our past to know what that can lead to.